Physical containment. Physical containment is the part of the SCP Foundation where they lock anomalies in real rooms, with real walls, and basically turn the whole place into a giant do not open folder for reality. The easiest tier is stuff that does not move on its own. An object like SCP-294 or the server racks for SCP-5000 sit in a concrete box with a metal door, keycard reader, and cameras staring non-stop. It looks like a mix between a bank vault and that one server room every movie hacker breaks into. The object is just sitting there, but the room around it has the same energy as a paranoid IT admin who has seen way too many data breach memes. Things get funnier and scarier once the anomaly has legs. Humanoid and mobile SCPs, such as SCP-049 or SCP-096, get custom cells that look like a prison block rebuilt by a sci-fi set designer. The lights stay bright so there are no dark corners. The walls are flat and bare with nothing to hide behind. The vents are covered with thick metal grates screwed tight, and the hallways outside are long and straight, so if something runs, everyone sees it. Doors are lined up one after another so security can shut them in sequence and trap the problem inside one section instead of losing the whole floor. High-threat entities like SCP-173 and SCP-682 push physical containment into full final boss mode. Their chambers use reinforced alloys, deep foundations, inner and outer cages, and sometimes extra systems ready to flood, blind, or slow them down if they start moving the wrong way. The setup looks closer to a dinosaur enclosure from a theme park disaster movie than any normal cell. In the end, physical containment works like the Foundation's private story for reality. All the cursed content stays locked behind layers of access, while the public feed on the surface keeps scrolling, thinking life is still on easy mode. Cognitohazard and mimetic. Non-physical containment is the side of the SCP Foundation that deals with SCPs you can't outrun, because they attack your senses and thoughts instead of your body. The first group hits through sight. SCP-096 is the classic example. As long as nobody sees its face, nothing happens. But the moment one frame of that face shows up in a photo or video, anyone who sees it is on the hit list. That turns every camera, recording, and screenshot into a possible disaster. So the Foundation treats visuals like an exam hall on nightmare mode. Feeds run through filters. Frames that might show the face get blurred or deleted, printed images are shredded, and only staff with special gear or low detail monitors are allowed to review what's left. The next group works through language and symbols. Here, the danger starts the second your brain understands something. One sentence, logo, or pattern can push someone into panic or blind obedience. It works like a cursed internet challenge that auto-installs in your head as soon as you finish reading the rule card. Containment means shrinking the audience. Only cleared personnel see the file. Whole lines are blacked out before it reaches them, and targeted amnestics erase just that one memory later, like deleting a single corrupted clip from a giant playlist. A third group goes after stories themselves, things in the same family as SCP-055 or SCP-2747, make files behave like broken wiki pages that quietly erase or rewrite anything linked to them. Those entries get pulled off networks, copied onto isolated hardware, and locked in offline archives watched by small, trained teams put together. This turns the Foundation into an aggressive content filter for reality, blocking curse posts and keeping the outside world's mental timeline free of brain-crashing spoilers. Technological containment. Technological containment is when the Foundation treats the whole site like a giant smart home whose only job is to bully an SCP into staying inside. It starts with the hardware wrapped around the cell for reality benders and dimension hoppers. Engineers bolt big metal machines into the floor and wire them into the walls. These are reality anchors, chunky boxes with cables everywhere, and status lights lined up in green, as long as they glow the right color. The room behaves like normal space, and things like SCP-106 have a much harder time phasing through a wall like it is no-clip mode. Next comes the automatic defense layer. Hallways and rooms hide motion sensors, heat detectors, and cameras all feeding into one brain. When an SCP steps where it should not, the building reacts faster than any guard. Vents in the ceiling push out knockout gas. warning lights flip to strobe mode, and thick doors slide out of the walls to cut the route into smaller chunks. In a few seconds, a normal corridor turns into a budget boss arena designed to slow, stun, or block the anomaly until human teams catch up. On top of that sits the control room, where people run the whole setup like mods running a chaotic server. Dozens of monitors show camera feeds and device status. A few commands can lock every door in a wing, shut down power to a single cell, or switch the site into full lockdown. Every click drops into a log so later crews can replay what went wrong and which button saved the day. Put together, technological containment turns the Foundation into a mix of IT department and dungeon designer, using machines and code to keep the weird stuff boxed in while the surface world keeps acting like physics is still on default settings. Procedural containment. Procedural containment is when the SCP Foundation controls an anomaly by following super-specific routines and step lists, not just by throwing it in a concrete box and hoping for the best. Some SCPs care less about where they are and more about what humans do around them. Their files read like cursed instruction manuals, page after page of numbered steps, arrows, and warnings in bold. An entry like SCP-579 is basically a giant to-do list. The object itself barely gets a description. The spotlight is on the order of actions. Flip this switch first. Walk down this hallway second. Wait exactly this many seconds. Then press the next button. It feels like a world-ending tutorial where skipping one step is how you unlock the bad ending. Procedural containment also covers recontainment plans for things that will not stay dead and will not stay broken. For a threat in the same league as SCP-096, the plan is not destroy it, but get it back into a box without losing half the site. Sedatives are loaded in advance. Blindfolds and bags sit in labeled bins. Transport crates are parked on standby, and cleanup crews know exactly which hallway they are responsible for when it escapes. Staff do not freestyle, they go straight into a practice drill. Then there are cases where the procedure is literally use one SCP to manage another. Thaumiel-class entities live here. SCP-3000, for example, gets written into a long protocol where people are exposed to it in a set order so their memories can be harvested for amnestics. The danger never disappears, it just gets locked inside a schedule. In the end, procedural containment makes the Foundation feel like a place where checklists and timing matter as much as steel doors. The people who survive are the ones who actually read the steps and treat every shift like a live exam they cannot afford to fail. Spatial and geographical containment is what the SCP Foundation uses when the SCP is a location, so the cage is built into the map instead of into a concrete box. Picture a normal city block that suddenly has two problems: a furniture store whose interior has gone full SCP, 3008 stretching on forever, and a basement stairwell behaving like SCP-087 adding more and more steps without ever reaching a real bottom. The Foundation doesn't drag that mess into a site. It turns the block itself into one. Vans roll up. Workers in safety vests start covering windows from the inside, welding the doors, and hiding every entrance behind neat fake walls and plywood. New fences appear around the lot. Cameras show up on the corners, and bright under-renovation banners go up so fast it feels like a speedrun remodel. From the outside, spatial containment is designed to look boring. Locals walk past, snap one photo for social media, complain about the noise, and then mentally file it under a dead mall. A bus stop quietly moves 2 blocks away. Navigation apps stop recommending that street with no fanfare, so people just stop going there. The building slowly turns invisible in plain sight. On Foundation maps, though that same block glows red, there's a guarded service gate, keycard readers, and a checklist for every step past the fence. Teams going in treat it like a dungeon run in through the gate, down the stairs, into the endless aisles, out before the timer runs out. The same playbook scales up to lakes that spawn creatures, highways with time glitches, and forests that move their own paths. The anomaly stays exactly where it is, the roads, routes, and flight paths bend around it. That spatial and geographical containment in one line don't move the weird place, move the world around it. Human-based containment. Human-based containment is what happens when the SCP Foundation accepts that no steel door or laser grid works as well as actual humans who still show up to their shift for some reason. On the danger side of the roster are the D-Class, the first ones in, hopefully not the first ones out crew. A test with them feels like a chaotic behind-the-scenes live stream, one orange jumpsuit under harsh lights, tape on the floor marking the "Please Don't Die Here" spot, a ceiling mic reading steps like a cursed tutorial, and a control room full of scientists watching heart rate monitors like it's esports. Walk to the line, lift the object, say the phrase. Everyone pretends this is normal. It's morally questionable, but it saves the staff who actually keep the site running from poking the anomaly themselves. Then there are the guards and rapid response teams, the human version of event staff, but for supernatural problems. When an alarm goes off, they don't scatter, they snap into a drill practice so many times it's basically muscle memory. One squad grabs interns who run like their shoes are zip-tied. Another locks down doorways and becomes access denied in human form, and a third heads for the breach with shields and non-lethals, closing doors behind them so the SCP's playable map shrinks by the minute. Finally, you have the long-term handlers, psychologists, negotiators, and the unlucky few who become an SCP's favorite human. Their job is running the most stressful customer service shift on Earth. Same table, same time, same tone, same list of safe topics. Over time, that routine becomes a soft fence inside the anomaly's head, keeping it in "I guess I'm calm today" mode instead of unlocking a surprise boss phase. Put it together, and human-based containment is the Foundation powered by controlled human chaos. Some people take the risks up close, some form moving walls, some keep the emotional temperature stable, and thanks to them, the outside world gets to pretend everything is perfectly normal. Informational containment. Informational containment is the SCP Foundation's way of locking down the story around an anomaly so hard that, to everyone outside, it might as well have never existed. When an SCP is dangerous because of what people could learn from it, the main problem isn't the monster, it's the info. Take SCP-096. If one clear photo of its face hits the internet, that isn't just a cursed image, that's a kill list waiting to go live. So instead of tossing the files in a vault and calling it a day, the Foundation hunts down every copy, backup, and random thumbnail, wipes what it can, and buries the rest behind clearance levels that make tax forms look friendly. The version that survives is so redacted it reads like someone blacked out half the text and rage quit mid-sentence. Outside the sites, the same mindset shows up on your feed. A hiker posts shaky footage of something huge in the woods, convinced they just became the main character of the week. Hours later, the post is gone or buried under AI fake, mid-edit, and nice creepypasta, bro, while local news quietly edits the story into a bear or a drone. For the really bad cases, Thaumiel-class SCPs, fry drives, corrupt camera rolls, and amnestic scrub memories. Until yesterday's world-ending leak is just a blurry screenshot even the original poster doesn't trust. In the end, informational containment is pure narrative control. The monster stays in a cell, and the truth stays stuck in drafts and dead links. Behavioral psychological containment. Behavioral or psychological containment is what the SCP Foundation uses when the way to control something is to train its behavior, not just to stack more concrete around it. Humanoid SCPs are the main boss fights here. They talk, negotiate, sulk, and notice when their routine gets messed with. Cases like SCP-049 or SCP-105 don't just get a cell, they get a life schedule pinned to a clipboard. Wake-up time, meal window, interview slot, recreation block, all locked in and repeated like a daily speedrun. The same 2 or 3 staff cycle through, so no surprise strangers are cranking up anxiety. Files even break topics into tier lists, safe small talk on one side, a warning page for subjects that slam the mood into boss phase. On the Foundation side, this turns into social skills on horror difficulty. Guards and researchers re-watch incident footage the way athletes study game tape, pausing at the frame where body language went wrong. Training drills how close to stand, how fast to move, and which gestures look like a threat instead of a hello. They practice de-escalation lines and exit plans, because one clumsy joke at the wrong second can turn a quiet afternoon into sirens, lockdowns, and a stack of reports taller than the SCP. Over time, the routine itself pushes the anomaly one way or the other. Streaks of calm days make the schedule feel lighter, recreation blocks less rushed, book carts less depressing, staff less glued to the doorway, outbursts, threats, or reality experiments tighten everything back down to wake up, eat, stare at walls, repeat. After enough rounds of chill mode versus you did this to yourself, even the SCP figures out that staying predictable is the closest thing it will get to easy mode.